All right, so if you've been watching the news at all lately, you know Tesla is just absolutely everywhere.
Oh, definitely. Hard to miss.
Yeah, and it's not just about the cool cars or the tech anymore, is it? It feels like this complex tangle of, finance, politics, public opinion.
It really does. Everything's connected.
Exactly. So we've sifted through the sources you sent over, and today we're going to try and unpack the really key stuff, figure out why Tesla is such a hot topic right now, and maybe what it tells us about, well, the bigger picture for tech giants.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Well, when you're talking Tesla these days, it often seems to circle back to the money, right? The
Yeah.
financials. Their shares have been pretty volatile recently,
Very much so.
and the latest trigger for this dip seems pretty specific. Former President Trump saying that if he gets reelected, he'd look at ending EV subsidies.
Uh-huh. And maybe even investigating Tesla and SpaceX government contracts.
Right, that's the one.
And what's really telling there is just how fast the market reacted. I mean, we're talking a potential policy change, maybe years down the line.
Yeah.
But Business Insider reported the stock dropped over 7% in, like a single day, just based on that statement.
Wow, 7%.
It just screams how sensitive the market is to these political wins, especially around subsidies. Those incentives have been, well, pretty crucial for EV profitability, not just for Tesla.
So it's not just general market nerves, it's a
Ah,
direct hit on a potential revenue stream.
precisely. It's a threat to a model that has, benefited quite a bit from that government support.
That makes sense. It really shows how fast that political signaling hits the bottom line. But okay, beyond that immediate stock dip, what is this sort of signal for the longer term, for investing in EVs if those subsidies actually did go away?
Well, it suggests a potential fundamental repricing
Right.
of the whole sector.
Yeah.
Investors are basically having to calculate, okay, what if these cars don't have that federal discount baked in?
All right, how does that affect demand?
It's exactly demand, profit margins.
Hmm.
It forces companies to rely purely on market competitiveness. And that could be, well, a much tougher road for everyone in the EV space, really.
Okay, so while the stock market's doing its thing, we also got the actual Q2 delivery numbers,
Ah, yes, the hard figures.
and they were down, right? Statesman.com confirmed just under 385,000 vehicles globally. That's a drop of over 13% compared to the same time last year.
Yeah, and if you dig into those numbers a bit, the regional picture is quite interesting.
How so?
The decline was steepest in Europe, which you'd think is a prime EV market. Lots of competition there, maybe changing tastes.
Okay.
But deliveries in China actually saw a little recovery towards the end of June.
Oh, interesting. After all the talk about intense competition there.
Exactly. It suggests Tesla's global game isn't uniform. Europe's tough with local players, but maybe price cuts or strategy tweaks are helping them find their footing again in China, despite the local giants. It's definitely not a simple global story.
Right, more like navigating different battles on different continents.
Hmm.
Okay, but even with market bumps and delivery shifts, Tesla's always about the next big thing, the innovation.
Always. That's their core identity.
So what's the latest on the tech front? How's that unfolding?
Well, the big news is the Robotaxi service. They've officially launched a limited version in Austin, Texas.
Ah, the Robotaxis. Finally seeing those on the road.
Sort of. Yeah. Investors.com reported rides starting at just $4.20, which is, attention-grabbing. But it's very controlled, specific, geofenced areas.
Meaning they can only operate within certain map boundaries.
Correct. And crucially, there's still an onboard safety monitor in the vehicle.
Okay, so not fully autonomous roaming just yet.
Yeah.
That $4.20 price tag is interesting, though. But you mentioned technical issues?
Yeah. Early reports are suggesting some minor glitches, nothing major apparently, but still things that need ironing out.
Yeah.
And of course, the regulators like the NHTSA are watching this very, very closely.
Right, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They'd have to be.
Absolutely. It really throws a spotlight on that balancing act, pushing innovation versus ensuring public safety. Bringing fully autonomous tech out safely is, well, it's a massive challenge. Regulators are kind of playing catch up.
Definitely a space to watch. Okay, and then there's this other layer, something less about the tech or the numbers and more about the perception, this Tesla takedown campaign idea.
Yeah, that's been bubbling up.
It sounds like growing backlash, partly social, partly political. Some activists calling for boycotts because of Elon Musk's public political stances.
That's the gist of it. And it shows how tangled a company's image can get with its leader's persona. It's not just about the product anymore.
And it's having real-world effects.
Apparently so. Wikipedia notes there have even been reports of vandalism against Tesla cars in parts of Europe. potentially linked to this sentiment.
Wow, actual vandalism.
Yeah, it suggests that for some people, the brand itself has become sort of a political symbol, and that can unfortunately spill over. Brand loyalty can be hit hard when it gets tied up with a leader's personal or political views, especially now when consumers often think about ethics and politics when they buy.
Hmm. It moves beyond just liking the car.
Way beyond. It becomes almost ideological.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up then, it seems like Tesla's trending for a whole bunch of interconnected reasons. Not just the new tech, like robotaxis, but also this political tension hitting the finances, the market volatility, the delivery numbers shifting regionally, and this real pressure on its public image.
Exactly. It's a perfect storm, really, of innovation meeting market forces meeting public scrutiny, all intertwined.
So a final thought perhaps for you listening.
Yeah, if you think about Tesla's whole story here,
Hmm?
the rapid innovation, the market swings, the social commentary, what does it suggest, really, about the road ahead for any major tech company?
Good question.
How do businesses innovate at this speed while facing such intense scrutiny from literally every angle? And, maybe more pointedly, what happens when a powerful brand becomes almost inseparable from its leader's very public, sometimes controversial identity?